let's talk wax. I got something written down. To try process policy. But we have some wax from Sexy Smooth Wax. They actually reached out to me on TikTok and asked me to do a review on the wax. So I just finished my Brazilian and I already had the wax that I normally use in my pot. So I did half of my Brazilian with that wax, and then I did the other half of my Brazilian with this Sexy Smooth Wax. And it is the Tickled Pink. So it's like a pink color. And let's talk about it. So to be completely honest, I'm not opposed to trying different waxes. However, I do have my favorite wax brand that I always buy from. I always use on my clients because I never have any issues. And anytime that I do get or purchase new waxes, I always try them on myself first. Simply because personally I do have a lot of allergies, and I do have extremely sensitive skin or sensitized skin. So I try them on myself first to see if I'm going to react, and then I will slowly introduce it to my clients and then get their opinions on the product, if I should keep it or if I should just go back to the original wax that I use. So I will say it does take a little bit long for it to melt. So if you're one of those people who like have to refill your pot in between waxes and different things like that, that's just something to keep in mind when it comes to this brand specifically. The other wax that I use, it kind of melts a little bit faster, so it's easier for me to refill the pot during the wax if I have to do that. And then let's see, when I put the wax on, so also let me just say this. When you're trying new waxes, you have to figure out how to achieve the right consistency. So that's trying to figure out what temperature the wax needs to be at and different things like that. So for me, I had to turn my wax pot all the way up for it to melt as quick as I needed it to, so that I could finish my Brazilian. And then I turned it down, you know, so it can kind of cool down and kind of get to the right consistency. I will say, when you put this wax on, be ready to pull it off because it dries fast. That's one thing I do like about it. It dries fast. So if you are a speed waxer, this could be a product for you. Personally, I think it does hurt a little bit more than the wax that I usually use. So that's something to keep in mind too. Technique does help with that, but some waxes, depending on the formula and how they're made, it doesn't make it painless, you know. So for me personally, I was able to feel the hairs coming out more with this wax versus the wax that I usually use. However, it's not a bad wax. I'm not saying it's a bad wax by any means. I would actually purchase this wax myself if I was just going to use it on myself. As far as using it on my clients, I also like to incorporate my clients' opinions on products before I purchase them in bulk or stock up on them. So I am going to post this review just so that you guys can know about the product, and then I'm going to wax a client, and then I'll come back and we can do a small discussion on how it was with a full Brazilian on a client and how my client feels about the wax.